ppmnation.com.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new edition, finally, of Angry Drunk Tales. I am Matt Connerton.
And I'm Jen Coffey.
And it's been, how long now since we moved out of Eduardo Assolio's apartment?
Eduardo, I have not set eyes on in, 10 months.
Well, funny thing about that, I was there just last week.
I know. You were trying to be a good friend. Oh, my God.
Yes, and that is why we finally...
Evil soul.
That is why we finally have a new episode. The last episode that we had was episode 46, Pinto Beans and Chewbacca. And the Pinto Beans and Chewbacca referred to, for some reason out of the blue, after not hearing from Eduardo after a long time, he sent me a link. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He didn't send me a link. He sent me an email that said something about you should eat pinto beans and then go fight Chewbacca.
Right.
And I was curious. I have to admit, he got me. I was curious. So I Googled it and figured out that it was bad lip reading. And for anyone who hasn't checked out bad lip reading on YouTube, it's very, very funny.
You really do. They take like the presidential people and remove what they're saying and replace it. And oh man.
Yeah, you gotta see it to really appreciate it, though.
Go to the bathroom before you watch.
We can't do it justice. Why?
So you
don't piss yourself or something?
Oh, jeez. Really? Right. You had to figure that out?
I'm sorry. I've just never heard anyone say that before.
Are you kidding me?
Go to the bathroom before you watch?
Women say that, sure.
Really?
Yeah, we're
okay.
Thoughtful. I don't know. You guys just piss on yourselves, so I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Oh, every time I laugh, I piss myself. It's
That's
awful.
Right. It is.
That's why I try to be very serious.
Mm-hmm. It's part of why you're evil.
Yes. So, what was I? Oh, right. So I got curious and I looked it up and it was bad lip reading. And now I'm addicted to bad lip reading. So I guess I owe him some gratitude for that because he turned me on to something that turned out to be hilarious. Why he sent me that email, I don't know. I assume it was another one of those olive branch emails to see if I would reply and maybe we could get a friendly dialogue going. I don't know why he does what he does.
I don't know either, but if you're listening and you happen to be the people responsible for making the bad lip reading videos, please keep making them. They're absolutely hysterical.
Oh, yeah. No, they are great.
Oh, man, we've had our whole house in a blaze over that.
We had the house in a blaze?
Well, yeah. Of laughter.
Oh, right.
Seriously, do I have to keep explaining everything to you?
You're just making up.
Are you like that rusty?
You're making up random expressions that don't exist, and it's funny.
Oh, bite me.
That's good, though. Maybe they'll catch on.
You never know. Could start something, do hashtag.
Maybe. Hashtag House Ablaze.
Hashtag Eduardo Assolio.
Yes. That's right. That's his. We're finally revealing his real name on the show. It's Eduardo Assolio, our former Hispanic roommate.
You don't do justice.
He's from Guatemala, you know.
Yeah, but you're not doing justice because you're not enunciating correctly the name.
Right.
You're saying it with an English dialect rather than its proper enunciation.
Yeah, well, I'm very, very, very white. So I don't even try.
Yeah,
I can't even roll my R's.
It's that white privilege crap shit, right?
It is,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I have white privilege, so I don't have to say it correctly.
Eduardo.
Because I'm white.
Assolio.
Yeah. So I can't
I can't do it either.
But so that was kind of, I think that was the last we'd heard from him.
It was.
And that was a long time ago.
I thought it was over, and we'd
Fool
never
if you
hear
think
a thing
it's
again.
Over.
Yeah. I was wrong.
Yes, well, but he was provoked. And this is what happened. So
No, that's not provoking.
Well, no, but he was provoked to reach out.
Oh, give me a break.
Well,
it's
because
not provoking. Tell the truth of what had happened. Tell the truth.
No, we're getting to it, but there is a very specific reason why we heard from him. So, I mean, he wasn't provoked. I mean, I don't mean he was antagonized, but I can see why he felt like he had to say something. So,
because he's a nosy assholio?
Yes. Well, okay, in the house, the apartment house that we lived in with our Guatemalan friend Eduardo, there was we had another neighbor. There were and we won't mention his name. I want to be very careful about not mentioning the name of this friend because he is not he himself is not comfortable with this show, that individual, and never has been. So so we'll leave his name out of it, but there was another individual, because while we were still living there, a couple of Free Staters moved into the third floor apartment, and only one of them moved out. The other one remained, and this individual, who is remaining nameless, needed my help moving. So, because he needed my help moving, because he finally got out of that hellhole. Although thong is very nice, but
dong, 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 dong. I
but
haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah,
Wow.
but he finally got out of there. But I had to go and help him move. Now, he and the other Free Stater who had been living there were both enormously helpful to us.
Extremely.
When we had to get out of there in a hurry.
Extremely.
They let us store things in their attic and whatnot to kind of make things easier. They were hugely helpful and really went out of their way for us, and we're eternally grateful.
Always.
So I was glad to be able to return the favor. Would have preferred he'd been a little bit better prepared, but I was glad to be able to return the favor. And the gentleman who shall remain nameless was kind of keeping us posted on all the goings on in the abode of Eduardo, the new
Drama.
roommates that had come and gone.
As Eduardo the Asholio turns.
Yes. Some violent conflicts that I think one of the roommates had with Thong's heroin addict
Wasn't
son.
there an arrest involved in there?
There was all
somewhere?
kinds of weird shit that went on after we left. So
Animal bitings or something?
we left at the right time. Oh, yes. It turns out, and this I did not get from our friend who was still living there. This I got from an employee at the 7-Eleven.
Where they love him so much, like he said in a previous episode.
Yes, Judy, and that's her real name, but who cares? There's a million Judys that work at 7-Elevens across the country.
And try and find the 7-Eleven.
Right. Judy, I stopped in there one day because I was in the neighborhood for an event, and Judy told me that Eduardo had been banned from 7-Eleven.
Dun, dun, dun.
He used to go there, all the time to get his 24-pack of beer or whatever. He'd been banned because his dog had bit. First, I guess his dog bit a couple of people, and then I guess when told that he couldn't tie his dog up outside anymore because the dog was biting people, and that's kind of a bad thing. Then Eduardo, I guess, threw a tantrum and started yelling and whatnot. So then they just said, all right, well, you're banned permanently, and we're going to call the police if you come in here again. So
yes, that's called trespassing.
Yep. So he was permanently banned.
Exercising your property rights is a wonderful thing.
Big surprise there. So
you were surprised, really?
No, I was being sarcastic.
I thought I was wondering, like, really? You're surprised?
So
I was surprised at how long it took for them to ban him.
Yeah. Well, I used to
because every time you go in there, you were horrified.
God, I would occasionally have to go in there with him because he'd have me drive him somewhere, and then he'd be like, "Can we stop at 7-Eleven?" And watching him try to, sort of good-natured, and he's not the first person I've ever met like this. We've all known people like this who you're out in public with them, and they try to sort of good-naturedly joke around with strangers, but they go so over the top with it because they don't have any social intelligence that it ends up becoming really embarrassing. And that's what he used to do.
Or it also becomes very insulting on the receiving end.
Right. And they're not even necessarily trying to be insulting. They're just so socially inept and awkward and dumb that they don't realize what they're saying.
But let's not leave out the fact that he was rude. I don't
Oh,
care
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
I don't care if you're a CEO of a company or a cashier or a janitor, whatever the frig your job is. Nobody should be able to treat you like that at your work. That's just not right.
Yeah, absolutely. So so he got banned from there, and there were other
And we're the bad
issues.
people. Hey, have you ever been banned from someplace?
I personally have not.
Have you ever been arrested?
I've never been arrested.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
In both instances, I did have, I will own up, I had a speeding ticket when I was 16 and a half. I'll never forget it because I was scared to death for my dad to find out. And I will admit that I have had a few parking tickets in
Oh, yeah.
Concord, New
Oh, me too.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Doesn't count as being arrested.
Well, I don't know.
No,
I mean,
I
I
mean-
was just, okay.
No, I mean he.
We
no.
know he's been arrested.
Oh yeah.
We know there was an arrest at his apartment.
Yeah. yeah, that's right.
The great people!
Our friend told us that one of his roommates had been arrested.
The great new people that he wrote in another previous episode that replaced us and were so much better than us.
Yes. So here's what happened, and then so I'll talk about what happened, and then I'll do a dramatic reading of the inevitable email.
Oh, I so can't wait for this.
So last week I went to help our friend move, and there was for me. Unfortunately, he was, and my apologies to him if he hears this, but I think he realizes it because he apologized to me about this. Sorry, I'm just closing this window because someone's mowing their lawn.
I like the smell of fresh cut grass. It's
Yeah,
so lovely with the smell of with the sound of the birds out the window.
Sound was distracting me a little bit, but yes, we are in a much nicer
Okay.
neighborhood than we were.
That's true.
So he needed help moving. So I went there. I went to the house. Didn't enjoy being there, obviously, because there's a lot of bad memories there.
Where they belong.
Yes, but again, a friend was in need. I'm a nice guy.
I got a car, put two and two together.
Yep, wanted to help. There's room in the Jeep for boxes, so it's good for moving stuff. And like I said, he was one of the people who really helped us big time getting out of there. So of course I was, and he's been feeding us information. So of course I was happy to go and help.
Which we've chuckled over periodically
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
the last 10 months.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But never said or done or responded in any way or fashion in any to draw nothing.
Right. We don't have any direct contact with Eduardo.
No.
So, excuse me. So I went to the house, and I pulled into the driveway, and I messaged our friend, and I said, I'm going to wait down here because the front door is usually locked, and I'm going to wait for you to come down and let me in because I don't want to be. I'm not afraid of Eduardo, certainly, but I'm not someone who goes out of my way looking for confrontation either. So I'm like, I'd
One
like
of those lovely qualities in you that I love.
Yeah, I'm like, I'd like for this to be uneventful. Let's just get this done. I don't need to be in some sort of confrontation with some giant tub of goo who's probably already drunk at, that early in the day because when was he not?
It's true.
And he's got that big dog he might sick on me. So, I don't need the drama. So I said, so I just messaged him. I said, I'm downstairs. I'm in the Jeep. I'm going to wait for you to come down to let me in. And he responded like, LOL, like he understood. So of course, so for the next couple of hours, it was a lot of me going up and down the stairs and carrying boxes downstairs to the Jeep and whatnot. So, like I said, every time I would walk by the door, that dog would be barking. And I have to admit, like I said, I'm not afraid of Eduardo at all, but I did kind of wonder, at some point, is that door going to fling open while I'm walking by and this big dog is going to jump on me? And we should tell people too, and we've actually seen, someone sent us a picture of Eduardo walking the dog, with a case of beer tucked under his arm. So we know where he was coming back from.
Shocker.
Because even though he's banned from 7-Eleven, there is another store nearby that I know he also used to go to.
He just has to walk a little farther. It might be good for him.
Yeah, it might be, or he might just drop dead one of these days.
Could be less of an assholeo.
Maybe he might be down to 275 for all we know.
Never know.
But he's also one of these people who doesn't see the problem with keeping a large dog in a little apartment in the city. And personally, I think that's terrible. A dog that big, no wonder the dog bites people. He's probably got a lot of angst because he's cooped up in that apartment.
Well, he's not socialized properly either.
Right.
And the sad part about it is an animal like that belongs in, not only, like you said, in a better environment, but now that animal, if with a history of biting already, one more bite, you're looking at euthanasia.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be his choice. It's going to be the cops.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, he shouldn't. I mean, he's an asshole for having a big dog in the apartment like that. That's, a small dog would be one thing, but it's not right to do that to the dog. But, I'm sure he doesn't get it. I'm sure it's never even entered his mind.
When has anybody else ever entered his mind or thing?
Right.
I mean, dog, human, it doesn't matter. If it's not him, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I think that's basically true. So there I am in that house going up and down the stairs. Our friend and I are kind of talking during the process. So I knew even if he didn't look out the window and see me, he had to have heard my voice. Which it turns out that he did because he had a quick conversation with our friend apparently after the move when our friend went back to the house one last time. So, but I'm sure he looked out the window and saw me, and then sure enough, so while I'm there, by the way, one awkward moment because again I'm trying to avoid any direct contact with the guy.
You were just trying to help a friend. That's all you were trying to do.
Right.
Get in, get out, get it done.
Oh yeah, I wasn't meant to antagonize him at all. But although I have to admit there was a part of me that kind of got a chuckle at the idea of him like looking out the window and seeing me and just seething with rage, like this motherfucker has the nerve to enter this house after everything that went down and all the emails that I sent to him and they made a show about me and now he has the balls to walk in here.
Don't forget the movie stub ticket.
The movie stub ticket?
Yeah. I put an Atlas Shrugged movie stub ticket on the refrigerator. The huge Ayn Rand offension.
Yes. You offended him deeply. But
evil, pure evil.
Yeah, there was one moment where I'm coming down the stairs carrying a box, and these two guys walk into the house because the door was unlocked, obviously, because I was in and out. And they were both dressed sort of business casual, carrying briefcases. One of them looked very familiar. Pretty sure I had seen him in the apartment one time with Eduardo
Assolio. Please use our full name.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Eduardo Assolio. That's what I meant.
Thank you so much for your cooperation. You may return to your story.
Because Ed is not his real name. It's Eduardo.
He's
from Guatemala. So
Asolios. Yeah, I'm gonna say it eventually.
Yeah. So I'm walking down the stairs and these two guys. One of them looked really familiar to me, but so they let me by, and then I kind of. So I go and I put the box in the Jeep and then I come back in and then it was awkward, but then I'm just kind of waiting at the bottom of the stairs because they're at the top in front of the apartment door waiting for Eduardo to let them in. And like one of the guys is knocking on the door and he's not answering the door. And then finally he had to call Eduardo. And then Eduardo came and let them in and whatnot. And then I went back up the stairs. But I had to kind of hang back because I was like, I don't want to be coming up the stairs right when that door opens. So yeah. And then later our friend was like, yeah, I wondered what happened to you if you got locked out or something because you were gone for a while. I said, yeah, I was just kind of waiting. And I explained it to him. But so anyway, so that basically was it. And then later on in the day, I got the email, and this was back on May 12th, and we actually held off on recording this new episode of the show because we were hoping there would be more emails, Because in the past, he doesn't have the discipline to send just one.
No, usually they come in a flood. I mean, I think our highest was somewhere around 10 to 15 in one 24-hour period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we were kind of disappointed. He let us down a little bit. He only sent one email, but we're going to, obviously we had to do a new episode for this email. And if you're new to the show, by the way, we would encourage you to go back and listen to the previous episodes. Otherwise, most of this won't make sense. And what you are about to hear is filled with lies and distortions, just to be very clear. But all right, without further ado, this was received by me in my inbox, and only to me, by the way. He only sent it to me because in the past
was restraint.
in the past he sent it to you and a variety of other people too. But this he only sent to me.
Maybe he doesn't have a posse anymore.
Maybe he drove everybody away.
Wouldn't be surprised.
All right, so here it is. Now, in the subject heading, he wrote, "Nice to see you today." And then this is the body of the email. "Hopefully for the last time, have you found a real job yet? Or are you still a deadbeat with an overly inflated ego? Guessing the latter. eBay is not a job, and if you have to pay to be on TV, that is also not a job or a career or anything else. If everything you do to live means spending 40 hours a week to eke out a poverty subsistence, then you are in fact a loser. See, I can judge too. Alex let you move in despite the dozens of reservations I had about you. Still not sure why I protected you and Jen when he wanted to kick you out, as I thought each of you were terrible roommates. In the interim, I have had other bad roommates as well. But at the end of the day, if they are bad, they don't last very long. I just simply tell them to move along as well. Simple as that. At the end of the day, my bills are caught up and my rent is paid into July. My apartment is completely furnished, including the bedrooms, and no one is putting offensive right-wing materials on walls that my clients, bosses, and business partners see often. Matt, despite all of your efforts, you haven't hurt me one single bit. In fact, having you against me might have actually helped me. I have never been busier than when you decided to begin talking me down to people. So congratulations. As I told you before, no one is listening to you. No one gives a damn what you have to say. By the way, if you had been the least bit as intelligent as you think you are, you would have found out that I had a bench warrant outstanding for more than 7 years. You obviously didn't. I have since taken care of that, got it expunged. Once again, I have a spotless criminal record. See, I know the rules, glass houses and such. With my shit cleaned up, you two are now basically fair game for me. You seem to think that you are better than me, but in the end, you are just a low-life rodent in the world, collecting tiny little scraps from basements and garages to sell for a base poverty income, while you sponge off your girlfriend's checks, which I also question, by the way. You are a very, very small person, full of delusions. No one gives a shit what you think. And there you are. And of course, after reading that, I wept because I was so deeply hurt by these insults.
I know. And he apparently forgot how many times he wrote about or previous episodes that involved his warrant. Right. Everybody knew about his warrant.
Yeah.
You know what it was? No cop cared because it was so friggin' low level. They were trying to go after big fish, not little pond, not little guppies.
Right.
And it was such a low level thing. It was like, yeah, if we're bored, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like that bad. No, I expunged my criminal record. Like, he makes himself sound like he was some hardened criminal. Really?
Yeah, I know. He used to kind of brag about it. Like, I got a bench warrant out for me. It's like, okay.
Anybody can get one if they miss a court date.
Which, by the way, is a wonderful thing. That's certainly something you want to hear when you've just moved in with somebody. Oh, this person has a bench warrant. Great.
Hey, yeah, great. That's what I wanted to live with. Not.
So.
And no, Eduardo Eshelio, you have not gotten equal ground. Yes, you may have achieved an expungement, But no, it will never be 100% clean because it will always be there. It will always be known that your ass was in a jail cell.
Well, as far as, by the way, too,
as far fit.
What's that?
Do you think you fit?
Yeah, I mean they
have wide gates,
right? They have to, yeah. But as far as me thinking that I'm better than him, yeah, of course I do. I'm a good person.
Exactly.
Of course I'm better than him. He's a horrible human being.
I mean, it doesn't take much. I would say my cats are better. Because they're kind and loving, and they give you kisses and snuggles. They have better personal relations.
Yeah. I love too. He acknowledges in the email that he's had other terrible roommates since us, and you know what that really means. He drove them away. He drove them nuts.
Well, I don't know. One of them got arrested, so he might get a pass on the arrest guy.
That's true. But I mean, who wants to deal with somebody knocking at their door at 2 a.m. every night?
Yeah, but wait. Didn't we get? And wasn't there a previous episode or 3 about how wonderful these new adult responsible roommates were?
Oh, yeah.
And how much better these adult responsible roommates were?
Yeah.
Which apparently didn't apply to getting arrested. Don't know why. Don't want to. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah. Eduardo, no one wants to live with a crazy person. So it's not them, it's you.
Correct.
Guarantee it.
But thank you. Thank you, because if not for your insanity, Serenity would have never been born. And wow, what an awesome place to live.
Yep. Absolutely worked out for the best. It'll be a year in July.
Yep.
And so perhaps on the anniversary of our leaving, perhaps we'll receive another email from Eduardo.
Oh yes, that's right. It was July. So you know what? It's actually closer to 11 months since we moved out that you received this email.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
damn.
Damn. That's the thing with this show. We never know with each episode if it really is the last episode.
That's why you always have to keep checking back.
That's right.
And don't forget, on IPMNation.com, you have 2 live stations to choose from, Live 1 and Live 2, as well as Live 3. That's 3 live channels to choose from, and the TV channel, always growing. And a special shout out to all of our hosts and family members at IPM Nation that make it the greatest thing that it has become, and the bigger and better it's becoming.
So I guess we'll wrap up this episode. Could be the last, maybe not.
Who knows?
Maybe someone else in that house will need my help moving.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? You know what? I would volunteer my Jeep. So because your car's not, like really boxy good, but my Jeep, like you said, it's better for boxes. So I would volunteer my Jeep for that, I think. Yeah,
so if anyone currently living in the same house as Eduardo, if you ever need help moving, let us know. And we'll show up and move so we can get another episode of this show. Because I'm sure we'll get an email. Maybe Thong will decide to move.
Who knows?
All right. So, I
never know.
guess that's it for now. Hopefully we'll talk to you all again.
Keep an eye and check us out on Facebook. Just type in Angry Drunk Tales.
Yes. And of course, all the episodes are on YouTube. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Having a dog comes with responsibilities. Dog bites have nearly doubled in the past 4 years. Let's all be extra careful with our pets, especially around children. I'm personal injury attorney Doc Halliday. Remember, any dog can bite.
IPMNation.com